What's going on, TSA? How y'all doing out there? Great. Tuesday evening, we got preseason basketball on, and I'm about to go straight home because these Bulls look good. I tell you what, we beat the shit out these trash ass Cavs, and I hope we gonna do this all year. Now, I feel it is good to just have basketball back. Um, I'm watching this Bulls Cleveland game, like I just mentioned, and we definitely more athletic this year. Once we get Pat Williams back, I mean, definitely should be a playoff team, right? I mean, I'm sure Milwaukee and Miami and the rest of the big boys in the East not gonna lose any sleep, and I wouldn't either. But damn it, as a fan, it's just baby steps. After you've been out of the playoffs for so long, you just want to get back to the playoffs. Watch your team continue to sort of grow and see what happens. So it's good. I know we got a baseball game going on. Let me check in on that. Let's see, Yankees and Red Sox. Yeah, okay. Yeah, waiting for my man Mac to jump on here. Gonna need cats to be on time. What we gonna do, man? We gonna do a little something each week, man. Call it Fifth Down, man. Sort of, I was watching a PTI special, like I'm sure a lot of y'all was. What was it, about a week ago or something? Just and to me, PTI is like that sports show. And one thing I like about it is that it's very quick and to the point. Let's get it's very quick and to the point show, which I really like about it. So that's what we're gonna try to bring y'all. So the layout is gonna be, man. What's going on, Matt? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you, Pete. What's good, man?
None, man. Your hair, man. God, we ain't even gonna talk about that, though. We ain't gonna talk about that.
Hey, man, we got 30 minutes. You know what I'm saying? Hey, we might have to
Yeah,
fill the time a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
that ear, boy. What are you doing with that, man? What is that?
Hey, man. Hey, like I say, man, this goes back pre when I was when I was on that 1 year in Iraq, man. When COVID kicked off, all the barbershops was closed and everything, man. So I couldn't get no haircut. And the soft cats I was with, you know what I'm saying, nobody cared, man. And then when I got back home, man, like Tiffany kind of liked it a little bit, and then barbershops
Oh,
was
okay.
closed
All
there
right.
too. So it's like I'll push I'll push the envelope at work, man. And the cat's always like, hey, man, what you gonna do with that hair? Hey, it's well within regs, man. So I just keep it moving.
Okay, you like the cats on my basketball team. These cats be showing up with box braids on the weekend. I don't know what the hell y'all got going on.
Hey,
But yeah, man,
man.
I was just letting everybody know, man, what we gonna be doing here, man. Sort of like a PTI inspired sort of thing, man. Fifth down, sort of go over the weekend and any topics. We each have 4 topics that we gonna discuss with
Okay.
sort of like a 3 minute time limit. That's how we gonna do it.
All right.
Sound good? So we
Absolutely.
can do it like this. I will start off, right? And I will
Okay.
ask you the first question of the day. All right. So the first
Okay.
one is, besides Bama and Georgia, right? Because right now, if you look at the landscape of college football, Bama and Georgia are definitely a cut above everybody else. I question whether Georgia's offense was good enough, but I think they showed me, especially what they did to Arkansas, that yes, they are good enough, right? And we know the defense is legit, and Bama
Absolutely.
is still Bama, right? So at the end of the day, even they meet in the SEC championship game, whichever team loses that game, I still think definitely makes the playoffs. So my question to
Absolutely.
you is, after those two, you tell me right now who's gonna be the other team in the college football playoff.
So just kind of kept going back a little bit. Obviously, if both of those guys get to Atlanta undefeated, you're right. But however you want to slice it, they'll both get in. Oregon and Oklahoma, it's kind of lined up for them, but Oklahoma hasn't looked as good as they normally do this time of year. Scoring a lot of points. They got the albino Rattler out there. The hell the fans was booing him last week. So it is what it is. But until somebody knocks Oklahoma off, I'm gonna have them sliding in again. Probably that
Okay.
3 or 4. And then that last one's gonna get tricky, man. You know, a lot of people are going to make a case for Cincinnati to get in. Because obviously they beat Indiana on the road. They beat Notre Dame on the road. Again, I'm not saying that both of those guys are that, Indiana and Notre Dame are good or great teams, but hey, Power Five conferences, they went on the road and beat both of them somewhat handily. So a case is going to be made for them, but I will say this right now: a undefeated Power Five conference champion will not get left out for an undefeated Cincinnati. So if Penn State or Michigan
What's
wins
going
the
on
Big
now?
Ten, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? If Penn State or Michigan somehow wins the Big Ten, they'll be in. So with Cincinnati on the outside looking in. So right now I'm going to put, because Penn State looked good against Auburn. So right now on the 5th of October, I'm going to say Bama, Georgia, Oklahoma, and Penn State with
Oh,
Cincinnati right on the outside.
okay, I'm going to disagree with you because as of now, I'm going to go with Cincinnati. I think this is going to be the year it's going to
Okay.
happen. I think Oklahoma is going to get knocked off. And this is a year that we're going to see that non-Power 5 conference team make the Final Four. It's been a long
I,
time coming, and I just don't see Oklahoma running the table.
Right. And like I said, if that happens, then obviously that's going to make, because Cincinnati, they need somebody else to lose. You know what I'm saying? For them to get in. And, last year, man, they played Georgia tough. Like, I won't even sit up here and deny that. And, a lot of people say, we had some guys sitting out, blah, blah, blah. End of the day, man, Georgia's loaded with 4- and 5-star guys, man. Cincinnati should not be in the game. And we needed a prayer defensive play from Tyreek Stevens, who ain't even here, for us to still, to have a chance to win that game, man. So, so like I said, I wouldn't even be upset if Cincinnati gets in. And, you never know, man. Maybe those guys can go on a run like Boise State did a couple of years ago and beat a big time team in the playoff. But, it kind of goes back to 9 out of 10 times, man. Alabama, Georgia, Penn State, whoever is going to mop the floor with those guys if they got time to prepare. So we'll see how it goes. But if Cincinnati makes it, I wouldn't even be upset.
All right, next. A week ago, all we heard was the Rams were the best thing since sliced bread after they beat the GOAT and Tom Brady. So
Mm-hmm.
now with the Arizona Cardinals having beaten the Rams on the road, are now the Arizona Cardinals the team to beat in an NFC? And if not, why not? Because we gave the Rams that crown. Why can't the Cardinals get it?
So I'll say I like what the Cardinals are doing. I'm still not a Cliff fan. You know what I'm saying? I just don't really like that guy. I'm a big Kyler Murray fan, man. I like that dude, man. I like how he plays, just careless. You know what I'm saying? Not a care in the world, slinging the ball around. Um, but I think, right now I think Arizona is playing above their potential. You know what I'm saying? So I just think they're kind of up here right now, and they've actually played. They haven't played some bum teams, but they've beat the Rams, like you said, who beat Tampa Bay. But I think when things start get going, I think we're gonna kind of see Arizona kind of come back down. And I'll be honest, like I say, I wasn't big on people kind of anointing the Rams last week. But I will say that Stafford is kind of showing people that maybe he wasn't the problem in Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's been balling out a little bit, but we all know, man, it's regular season. We 4 games into a 17-game season, man, and right now I still think that Tampa Bay, even though they kind of they lost last week and kind of looked a little shaky Sunday night against Hoodie and the Patriots, man. Tampa is they're still the team to beat, but injuries are starting to catch up with them, especially on the back end, man. So they're gonna have to watch out for that. But I think the Cardinals will make the playoffs, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't see them coming out of the NFC as of today.
Okay, well, you know what? This team is starting to remind me of that team where they had Kurt Warner and those guys, and they made that improbable run. I'm definitely not going to say that I think that they're definitely going to the Super Bowl, but I think they're sort of being a little undersold. at this point in time. But I'll get a little bit more in depth with them later on in the show. All
Okay.
right. As I sit here and I watch this baseball game, right? It's now 3-0 Boston.
Yep.
They've taken Garrett Cole deep. Xander Bogaerts did for a 2-0 lead. Now we're in the third inning, 3-0, and it looks like Cole is already running out of steam.
Yep.
So my question to you is, who wins both the wild card games between the Yankees and the Red Sox and the Cardinals and the Dodgers?
So obviously, you know what I'm saying, we got a little bit of a head start on this one because it's already 3-0 Boston or whatever. But I'll say, man, that, you know, I wouldn't have started Garrett Cole in this game. I mean, if you notice, like ever since they kind of cut down on sticky stuff, Garrett Cole ain't been the same pitcher that he was out in Houston. You know what I'm saying? And now it looks like they've taken him out the game. 50 pitches in,
That's not good.
bottom of the third, 2 on, nobody out. I will say watching this game is kind of annoying with Alex Rodriguez just because I don't like him as a commentator, but that's just my personal opinion. But right now, I think that obviously, man, I'm gonna have to go with Boston just because they playing at home. They obviously got a 3-run lead, and they done knocked Garrett Cole out. So, but and if I was Boston, I probably would have went with another starting pitcher tonight. But hey, you know, it is what it is, man. One game playoff, all on the line. You know, you got to do what you got to do. But I'm gonna go with Boston 9. I know everybody's like, oh man, they got a 3-run lead. Well, yeah, they got a 3-run lead at home, and they just knocked out the Yankees ace. So I mean, you got to kind of go with that. But the game, obviously, and I think we talked about this before. Nobody outside of ESPN and Boston and New York cares about Yankees Red Sox, man. Like nobody cares. I don't get the love fest for it, man. Like to me, you know, rivalries like Giants Dodgers is better than this. You know what I'm saying? I like that. Cubs Sox, St. Louis, Kansas City is a little bit better. You know, people up there, man, they like that rivalry or whatever. I don't see the fascination with it. But again, I'll go with Boston in this one. Now the other game, St. Louis and the Dodgers, I think it's going to be Scherzer versus Wainwright, right? So out in LA. I'll be honest with you, man. Like I'm gonna, you know, the money is probably gonna be on Scherzer and the Dodgers, but I'm gonna take the Cardinals because Wainwright is a baller, especially come this kind of time. And if you look the last, I think 2 or 3 games, Scherzer's gotten beat up out there. And you know the Dodgers, they kind of going through some injuries right now as well. But again, you get 106 wins, wild card team, kind of unheard of. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that the Cardinals are kind of still riding that hot streak coming in. I think they've won like 18 or 19 out of their last 21 or something like that with the 18. I think they won in a row to even get into the playoffs. And I'll take my chances with Adam Wainwright in a kind of do or die type situation, even against the you know what I'm saying, a guy like Max Scherzer, just because I've seen him kind of get beat up the last couple of games.
All right, I agree with that. I'll take those 2 teams as well. Last one for you. Ben Simmons Saga. Sooner or later, it has to come to an end. And I think with Joel Embiid sort of throwing the barbs that he's thrown, you know, basically like, hey, we sort of did everything that we could
Yeah.
around him. So now, with that being said, where do you think he ends up, and where do you think would be the best location for Ben Simmons?
Man, that's going to be tough because it sounds like Morey is still looking for a king's ransom for him, kind of like how Houston was looking for 9 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson a couple of months ago, and we obviously see how that's kind of played out for them. So I don't think that they're going to be able to get that premium value now that they were going to be able to get for him a couple of months ago. You know, right after the season ended, just because it's going to be a bad fit in Philly. I think the 2 best destinations for him is still going to be Portland and Golden State. Now, obviously, you know what I'm saying, I'll be honest with you, if, you know, somehow, you know, they wanted to trade him and send him down to Atlanta, I'll take him down there as a, you know what I'm saying, a defensive big man. You know what I'm saying? Hell, we don't need him to shoot. We don't need him to score. Just play defense. You know what I'm saying? And make a couple of free throws. But I still think that Portland Golden State going to be the best fits for him with I still think Golden State is the best fit for him because he's got guys around him that can score, and all they're gonna want him to do is, hell, maybe bring the ball up and play defense. You know what I'm saying, and just do those kind of things and be that long perimeter defender. But I mean, and then there might be a team out east that'll shock us. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, no, not the
The
Knicks.
Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, but do they have
Jonathan Brogdon, LeVert, and whatever other pieces they need to put in to make that work?
Yeah. Or hey, what about now that we kind of throwing that out there? I know y'all I know y'all been kind of busy in free agency, but what about a team like Chicago, man? You guys
No,
got you don't want
no,
them?
nope, don't want them. I like what we got right now.
Okay.
We good.
I
We
got you.
don't want nothing to do with that.
I got
The
you.
Mavs, huh? Allen Alexander just threw out the Mavs. I don't know how that would fit.
I just don't see him and Luca getting along out there, man. It just doesn't seem like the chemistry would be good. I could see, some vets out in Golden State kind of keeping them in line. You know what I'm saying? Out in Portland, you have a guy like I think what Chauncey's the coach out there. So I mean, you got to kind of got that guy that can kind of maybe rein him in a little bit. But like I said, those are the top two destinations with like you say, Indiana being a maybe a distant third. But I don't see Ben Simmons suiting up for Philadelphia when the season starts.
No, and as Bobby just made a good point, is can he and Draymond Green coexist at the same time? Because their skill sets sort of duplicate each other.
Man, I say yeah because, like I say, Ben is more of a up top perimeter type defender, and I mean Draymond can do that on the wings as well. But he's more of a down low guy that's gonna get you those. He's gonna get down and dirty out there. So I think they could, just based off of they do have a similar skill set, but they're just playing two different areas on the court. So, and as a coach, man, I wouldn't turn down. I wouldn't turn down two defenders like that, especially if I got a healthy chef, a healthy man, what the hell is his name? The light skinned
Klay
guy.
Thompson.
There you go. He ain't played in 2 years, so I forgot his name. Him, and you know what I'm saying. So those guys are gonna get you scoring. You know what I'm saying. So they got the pieces to kind of mask the offensive liabilities from a Ben Simmons.
All right, fair enough. All right, now I turn the table over to you.
All right. So like I say, man, I sent you a picture of these earlier, man, just so we could kind of prep, and we might have talked about one or two of these in the in TSA before, but obviously, man, this is good to do it live, man. So right now, man, we're a quarter of the way, or give or take a sliver of the NFL season, man. So right now, what is your biggest surprise team or teams, and your most disappointments in teams right now?
Well, I'll start off with the bad so I can end good. Let me set the timer for myself there for 3 minutes. With the bad, I have two teams in mind. One of them is the Pittsburgh Steelers. And while we did not plan on the Pittsburgh Steelers setting the world on fire, I did not expect for them to be 1-3 and looking as bad as they look. We all knew Ben was done, but looks like Ben is done and finished. They draft the kid. And they still, Najee Harris, and they still have a problem really running the ball. And I thought they had addressed the offensive line. I don't know, maybe Ryan Pace is the GM for that team as well, because the offensive line still looks very bad. And when I look at another team, and the thing about that is 14 years, I believe it's 14 years Mike Tomlin's never had a losing record, and I think that happens this year. He's not going to lose his job because Pittsburgh doesn't get down like that, but definitely disappointing. The second team, I think, is the Indianapolis Colts. Another team, after, they traded for Wentz, he's reuniting with Frank Reich. You got the monster offensive line. The defense was young. Then they were supposed to take off, but they are 1-3 as well, and they are not looking good. A lot of the other teams that are 1-3 or 0-4, they're all rebuilding. They're planning on them being good, even like a Philadelphia or Detroit. The Jacksonville Jaguars. You really didn't expect anything out of those teams. At least I didn't. So that's not a surprise. On the flip side, I have to start once again out here in my backyard with the Arizona Cardinals. Because if you would have told me that they were going to be the last undefeated team, I would have said, no way in hell. They're the only team so far that has sort of like surprised me. The other 3-1 teams, I plan on them being there. I plan on Tampa Bay being there, but there's no way in hell that I planned on the Arizona Cardinals being there. Kyler Murray looks a whole lot more mature. He's not force feeding DeAndre Hopkins like I wish he would for my fantasy football team. He's spreading the ball around. AJ Green still looks like he can make maybe one play a game. They got the other two guys, Kurt, Rondale Moore. The running game is sort of like they complement each other, even though Connor still looks done. And the defense is, they're frisky. My guy Chandler Jones is one of the most underrated defenders, I think, in the NFL for a long time, and he's made a big difference. So for me, those are the three teams that stick out to me, even though they have to win despite Kingsbury, because I agree with you. The guys are bum. My Leon Woodard voice. Bum, I tell you. So, yes, they have to win despite that dude.
Absolutely.
So that's my answer on that one.
Okay. Like I said, man, if we got a couple of seconds left, I'll say my most, for me, disappointment. I'll agree with you on Pittsburgh, obviously. But I'm gonna go with the Kansas City Chiefs, man. I mean, I know they're 2-2, but they're at the bottom of the list. But turnovers have done them in their two losses. You know what I'm saying? Like Clyde's got to hold on to the football, and Patty's got to stop making he's got to stop making those turnovers, man. Just trying to do too much, man. Let the game come to you, man. We all know you're a superstar, man, but just let it come to you. And real quick, a surprise team. I'm gonna go with the Oakland Raiders, man. I know they lost the other night, but hey, if you would have told me, like you said, going into a Monday night game against the Chargers, they'd be 3-0 and beating Pittsburgh, Baltimore, and Kansas. No, they didn't beat Kansas City. I can't remember the other team they played. Might have been the Dolphins or somebody.
Yes,
I would have been like, hey, they might be 1-2, 2-1 at best, but they beat, contending teams, man. So those are mine. Those are mine right there.
Okay.
So here's another topic, man. Like I say, mine's kind of heavy NFL right now. But so the term elite quarterback, the word elite is thrown around, in my opinion, way too much. You know what I'm saying? Than it needs to be. But right now, who are your elite quarterbacks in the NFL right now? And it don't even have to be in order, just whatever you want them to be.
To me, I've thought about this, and I can only come up with four.
Okay.
I'll say Russell Wilson.
Okay.
I think is elite. I think Pat Mahomes is elite.
Okay.
Brady is elite for everything that he's done. And the last one, I guess I'll say Aaron Rodgers.
Okay.
Until the playoffs. And that's where it stops with me.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody else to me is young guys, not proven yet. Like my man out here in Buffalo, even a Kyler Murray. I can't give you the elite status till I've seen you do it numerous years, to where, especially when I see you take a team that I feel like, okay, this guy has elevated this team. So I'm not going to give Kyler Murray that yet. And that's about it. Yeah, and it was hard for me to say Aaron Rodgers because, Aaron Rodgers, the arm talent he does. Sometimes when he throws the ball, I'm like, damn, that's, a good pass. But he's one of those guys that every year in the playoffs, he crumples.
Yep.
Every year when it gets to the playoffs, he gets tight and he finds a way to crumble. But for everything he's done throughout his career, I guess I give him an elite tag. Plus, if I didn't, I get beat up forever, and Antonio White wouldn't make no more videos for me because because he'd be like, you didn't call A-Rod elite, so I need that guy. So we're gonna go ahead on and put A-Rod in there as well. Who you got?
So I'm gonna go pretty much that same category. You know what I'm saying? It's like I try to tell these other guys, man. Josh Allen, Abear, Dakota, Action Jackson. You know what I'm saying? Right. Kyler Murray. Those guys are very good quarterbacks and players right now, but they're just not on that level yet, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I just get, they're just not there yet, man. Can they get there? Absolutely. But
Dak Prescott, huh? Let's see Dak Prescott actually beat an NFC East team when it counts. in December, maybe one time.
I got you. Again,
Maybe, you know,
he's good. He's good. He's
I'm not calling Dak
good.
Dak.
No,
Yes.
he's not elite. No,
No,
he's
he's
not elite.
good.
I'm not saying that. He's very good. He's in that.
Yeah.
He's in that category. Like I said, with those other guys, very good players right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm gonna say it right now. Lamar Jackson is not an elite quarterback in the NFL today. I don't care about the MVP. I don't care about none of that, man. He hasn't made it to the hell. He ain't even made it to a conference championship yet. And you calling the guy elite, man? Get out of here, man. Like
We'll
that's
move
my.
on to the next one, as they say. And there's no way in heck if Action Jackson isn't elite, Dak damn sure isn't. Next.
That's that wheel bond right there. I like it. So this kind of goes back to the first question, man, and you kind of hit on it, but and this can be for any sport, but we'll stick with NFL right now. What coach or coaches are already on the hot seat right now?
Look no further than Jacksonville. With Urban Meyer, my guy Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer doesn't seem like the type of guy that would even want to coach in the NFL besides the money. He took over Jacksonville. He made a comment when they lost the second game. I forgot who they played, but he told the coach, "Oh, wow, it's like playing Alabama every week." Yeah, it's like, what the hell did you think it was going to be like? That was another guy I had. I think Mike Zimmer could possibly be in trouble in Minnesota. And I think my guy, Matt Nagy, really has a chance to screw this up. And if he screws it up real bad, Ryan Pace is going to be like, okay, there's a good chance both of us are going to get fired. So before it comes down to both of us, let me get rid of him. Let Bill Lazor take over. Let him play the rookie quarterback, and hopefully the rookie can save me. Because I just think Nagy has just mishandled the quarterback situation, and he continues to. At this point, there's no need really to play Andy Dalton. You know,
Nope.
it pains me to say this, but the Bears not really going nowhere anyway. Let the kid play. Let him take his lumps, unless he just looks completely just overmatched. And what I saw this past weekend against Detroit, I know it's Detroit, but the game plan looked different with somebody else calling the plays, a lot of play action, run the ball, limited reads, and he looks like your normal rookie quarterback.
Yep.
You know, to where they make those throws, and then every now and then those plays happen to where you can almost feel like he's thinking. You know, like, okay, this guy, Allen Robinson, over the middle, he's covered. Cole Kmet is it there in the flat. My third, bam, and he's hit. You know, you can almost tell, but that's part of being a rookie quarterback, and that's something that he needs to go through, just like all the other rookies. So just let the kid do it. Let him do it.
Yep. Like I said, I agree with you on Justin, man. Like I said, Matt Nagy he should slap himself for the game plan 2 weeks ago. You had a week to put it in, and you did nothing to help him out. You know what I'm saying? You got Peters over there on the side over there on left tackle, just getting abused all game long. You know, slow the game down, man. Run some screens, run some slants, just do something to kind of get the kid comfortable. But you know, the guy you said we talked about earlier, if he wasn't a coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Mike Tomlin, in my opinion, would be on the hot seat just with how bad Pittsburgh is playing. But I'm gonna go with Judge as I saw that because the Giants just haven't looked good, with the exception of last game. Just, you know, whatever. But I'm gonna go with Judge, Zimmer, and old Urban. But again, man, I think I told you guys this before, man. Urban's ego brought him to the NFL, and you're playing against a team now that's got 53 5-stars. You know what I'm saying? You ain't the most. You're probably the worst talented team in the league. You know what I'm saying? So, so it is what it is on that one, man. But I think Urban might be either going to get fired or he's going to have some chest pains here probably by week 8.
I agree with you, and he can go and do all the dancing he wants to do
with some rats. Hey, but all right. So last one here, man. We'll kind of bring it back to the NBA. So this is a story that I was reading about today, man. Your guy out there, so you probably got a little more insight on this. DeAndre Ayton, You know what I'm saying? It sounds like contract negotiations have kind of stalled a little bit, looking for that rookie max extension. So my question for you is he worth it, and do the Suns give it? And if not, do they move on for him, or do they try to work something out later on?
5 years, 172 million,
Yep.
with the ability to go up to 207 million if he was like to make an all NBA team. So basically, this is the same rookie extension that Michael Porter Jr. just got. When I look at DeAndre Ayton, I didn't even check his numbers, but I believe he's at 14 and 10, somewhere around there, 14 and 10, maybe 15 and 11, right? Is he worth $34-35 million a year? No. He's worth about 20. Good kid, sort of passive, still developing offensively. He's good defensively, though. Moves his feet, and Bobby just brought up what I'm going to get to. But in the NBA, you can't really pay guys for what they're worth because someone
Rudy
else will give
Gobert.
it to them. So at the end of the day, will he get the max? Yes, they will give him the max. I'm sure they want to because they want some form of roster flexibility. With you got to they taking care of Devin Booker. They had to give CP3 that deal, even though that second and third year they're going to regret it. So I know they sort of don't want to cap themselves because that's going to be their big three. So if you look at a big three like in New Jersey, you got the Beard and Kyrie and KD. And if you go to LA and you say you got Russ and you got AD and you got Bron. So your big three is going to be Devin Booker, almost 40-year-old Chris Paul, and DeAndre Ayton. That's not very promising. That is a second-round playoff team. I think this year, they just got on a hot run. Don't want to completely take it away from them, but some things broke their way. But they aren't a championship contending team. So that's why they're being apprehensive. And he hasn't proven yet to be a max player. He's just a nice player. But in the NBA nowadays, nice players equal max. Because I don't think Michael Porter Jr., I know that's how we were talking about, and I like
Yeah.
Michael Porter Jr., but I don't think he's a max player either.
I think, like I say, I think at some point, man, these NBA teams, they're going to regret giving, just giving the players this much power and, the ability with this salary cap and all that stuff, man. Because like you said, they're just going to paint themselves in a corner, man. And where's your flexibility to kind of, bring in some of those key guys to hit those big shots, whether it's, I don't like the guy, but for whatever reason, he hits big shots, man. What's his name? Oh, Crowder. He was hitting big shots last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, again, and not everybody's going to be, willing to take that mellow 500,000 or 1 million type deal to chase a ring out in Phoenix. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I think at the end of the day, man, that it's going to be bad, but I think if he was smart, I think that he would he'd probably do something if he had the ability to kind of take one of those contracts where he can opt out at about year 3 and just kind of max out his potential or his earnings, I should say, because if he gets better, you know what I'm saying, it's just, man, it's going to be going from there, but we'll see how it shakes out. But obviously he's a guy out there in your neck of the woods, so I figured I'd bring that up as another NBA type fucking comment we had here.
All right. Well, that wraps it up. Boys
Absolutely,
and girls,
man.
ladies and gentlemen. Hey, I like it. Like I said, quick, down and dirty.
Yep.
Half an hour. I enjoyed it. I hope you did. So we'll do this, like I said, next Tuesday. The name of the show is the Fifth Down, and y'all be easy, TSA.
All right,
Peace.
later on, P.